Well, good morning, good people. My name is Mark Holmes, and I'm here at the Red Brick House. This house is 205 years old, and I had the pleasure of being able to restore and rebuild much of it after we ended up saving it from demolition in 2016. And we completed most of the work about 2 years ago. Now, I will say that with a house that's 205 years old, there's always going to be a lot of things that you have to do to maintain it because it's not like typical construction. One, new construction, it'll definitely last a lot longer than the new construction. But two, when you're dealing with plaster walls and the bricks and things like that that we do, that are some of the interior walls and things, or the tongue and groove flooring that's really wide, that expands and contracts seasonally, you have to actually treat it a little bit differently. But what I wanted to do here is, because when we restored the house, we ended up bringing modern touches to the house, but keeping the original feel of it. This, of course, was originally a school. Then it became the Masons Lodge and was used as a hospital during the Civil War. And then they ended up putting this addition onto it. And then we had the Hippert family that lived here. And back in the day, there was originally a summer kitchen that was right outside, and that's where they did all the cooking. So this house has evolved and changed, and we're part of that history. And what I want to do is, I want to look back, because a lot of things that we did, because it was very expensive to go through and renovate and rebuild the house, I ended up doing things to try and save money, and I got some things that were a little bit different things that I've tried, and I actually purchased some things from Amazon. And I want to look back now that we're here, been here for 2.5 years, and look and see how some of these things are holding up. Now, I'm going to say, my wife always says I am great at using every single inch. Now, truth in advertising, all the cabinetry that's in this house is cabinetry that we built, I built. And so trying to get this layout here, because this is not a very big kitchen. It's not a very big kitchen at all. Getting the refrigerator in here, getting the sink, getting a dishwasher and stuff on this wall was a challenge. And the biggest challenge here is it's just not enough space to try and put all of these things across there and continue with the cabinetry. So typically what happens is you have what is known as a blind cabinet. We have the dishwasher right here, and because there wasn't enough space to put a full Lazy Susan in here, because you need a 36 by 36 inch cabinet, it would be 36 inches this way, 36 inches that way, and then you'd have the Lazy Susan in there. Just wasn't enough space to do that, because we had the refrigerator that had to go there, and of course that's oversized. We need to put a trash can in the kitchen, and we'll get to the trash can that's right up underneath here in a minute. And of course we wanted to have the farm sink. This is the difficulty of wanting to have all of the things that you want or figure you need and making it work. We found a solution, and I actually purchased this online. So what you'll see is, you see our cabinet. So we had to get a little creative. So our cabinet is actually what's called a blind cabinet. And that cabinet ends right here, and it goes all the way up underneath of here. The problem with that is anything that gets put into that blind cabinet past the door is lost, which is why you want to have typically a Lazy Susan cabinet in there, because then you have the whole piece that rotates and you don't lose things in the back unless it falls off of the rack, in which case it's better if they actually make it curve so it matches the Lazy Susan, so it falls and it stays in there. But what we found actually on Amazon is what's called a blind Lazy Susan. Check this out. You open up our door, which opens up right here, of course, to the dishwasher. And believe me, it was a tight fit to make all this work. But what's great about this is it's on ball bearings, and it's a kidney shape. Lazy Susan. We got our pots and pans that are all on here, just as smooth as can be. Oops. We kind of have it overfilled, but this Doesn't have to be pots and pans. You could put ketchup bottles or sauces or, flour, sugar, whatever you need. And it's using that space and making it so that way it's usable. So you don't have to worry about, oh my God, it's not going to, I'm going to lose something back there. It just real easily goes right back in there on ball bearings. And it's a soft close. Definitely one of the best things that we did in the kitchen, because that gives us so much more space that's usable. And that's the problem that you have typically with kitchens, is you'll have a kitchen where there's just no space, or you've got corners that are bad. I've got a kitchen that I'm working on, I'm getting ready to renovate, that has not a lot of space in it, but we're going to end up using a peninsula, and we're going to move the refrigerator. We've got to change the door opening, and it's going to make it much more functional. So there's ways you can do a lot of stuff to maximize your space that are definitely game changers when it comes to doing your cabinets. Now, in the same sense here, I love having my farm sink. Okay, my farm sink is incredible. Now, things that make this a little bit more advantageous was when we first started using the kitchen, my wife had a dish drying rack up on here, which took up more counter space. And having the farm sink is great because it's deep. It ends up having more space in there. You can put a big pot in there, or if you got a whole pot, a lot of greens or something you need to wash, you can put it in there. You can put your whole turkey and stuff in here, whereas in a single sink or the double sinks, you don't have that much space, but you only have one drain. And trying not to lose that counter space for the dish racks, we found this dish rack actually on Amazon as well. And I love this thing because it surrounds around it. We don't lose the counter space. We got the extra baskets. We can put our knives in here. You can put forks and spoons and cleaning stuff. It's very, very functional, and it has an artistic look to it. And so that has been almost a game changer, because now we still have all of this cabinets counter space that's right here to work with, instead of having a dish rack that's right there that kind of looks like an eyesore. Another piece that I've liked quite a bit is we bought a lot of our faucets. We bought our bathroom faucets, and we'll look at those and things on another video. Our shower devices, of course, our shower sprayers, and it's been 2.5 years that we've been using it. I love this sprayer because it's kind of got an industrial feel to it, because you can turn on the water here, and you have a separate spout right here that swings, and you can turn it on and off from there, or you have the sprayer, which is great. And I'm going to say that the pressure that you get out of this is really, really good. Now, we've had this for 2.5 years. We're using it. The only thing that I will say that has me giving pause. Now, again, this is a lot less expensive, and I'll put my Amazon store in here. This is a lot less expensive than one I would have bought like at Home Depot or Lowe's, or even at my plumbing supply places. Quality-wise, it's held up. It doesn't leak. It still feels nice and sturdy. It's been 2.5 years. I have bought faucets before, sometimes at Home Depot, that are Delta, Moen, and things like that are not the cheap ones, that haven't held up as well as this one. The only thing I will say is, with the black faucets and things, it has gotten a little chip on the paint in 2 spots right here during that time. And that's what worries me. Now I'm going to get a touch-up kit for that to be able to touch it up. But other than that, this has been, has been an incredible unit. And I think all of this together, with this being an old house, comes together very, very well. So the black cabinets, the accents, and of course the wrought iron look to it would be very, very periodic for it. And the final thing I will say for here in the kitchen is, that's been really good, is this is actually our trash can. Trash can, one can be a recycling bin, one can be a trash can, but 2 trash cans soft close, and that saves space. Because what I tried to do with this kitchen is I tried to make it very, very functional. So if you're here in the kitchen and you're cutting some stuff up, you want to be able to put it in the trash real easy. Or if you're taking stuff out of the sink, you're putting it in the trash right there. If you're going here with the dishwasher, it's right here where you can rinse with the products and stuff. Or I can take and wash my pots and pans, and I can put it away over there. Now, I will also bring up one other thing too is we did a combination here with open shelving. We've got the open shelving here where you see some plants. We do have some of our everyday dishes and things on here. This was a style that came in and everybody was like, oh, we'll do away with your upper cabinets, until they realized that you don't want everything out. And you also then have to deal with dust that goes onto the open shelving and things like that. And so it becomes kind of like it's going out of style. It's going out of style real quick, because you would literally see all these designers and all the magazines that would be no upper cabinets whatsoever, and it's all shelving. And people are realizing I need the cabinets because I can put more stuff in there and I can just pile it in there. And so for us in this kitchen, we made it kind of a hybrid kitchen. We have the shelving there, and of course you see the TV there, which is great. It's tucked away and we can watch TV while we're working and stuff. But we also have stuff that we grab and use on a regular basis that ends up getting used and stuff. And it looks pretty when you start to see, the tomatoes sitting up on the rack, or, we've got some lime sitting on the rack above there, and you see the greenery. It feels alive. And the same thing with having some of the herbs that are growing in the window. You'll see we've got basil and rosemary and thyme and stuff in here. So it feels like you're in a country kitchen that is functional. It's easy to grab some plates here and start serving, and being able to do that. And finally, I'm kind of really going on here. Finally, forgive me, we've got a lot of stuff here in the kitchen. We ended up getting this microwave that's also a convection oven, which is great because during Thanksgiving, I've actually had like my ham in here cooking or other stuff and all that, like it's a regular oven. So it's like having a second oven. What I've done is I built into this, I've got drawers here, so that way all of my stuff that I would use, spatulas and spoons and things, because the stove is right here, are easy location. We've got organizers in here that my wife buys, which have like the different sizes of plastic bags and things like that, or wraps in here, measuring cups. So all of this stuff is convenient to where you would actually use it. If I'm putting away some food and things, I'll be able to just kind of grab myself a bag here, put it inside of it, and I'm done. The other thing that I did in here, which I will never build kitchen cabinets without doing this, and let me show you what I mean, is again with the same problems that we have with the Lazy Susan and drying cabinets, is basically building yourself pull-out shelves. There's nothing worse than being an old person and stuff's in lower cabinets in the back and you can't have access to it. So having these drawers and their ball bearing slides, soft close, in the cabinets make it easy to get to anything that's even in the back. So those are some of the tips and some of the things that I've purchased and done and put into my kitchen to make it as functional as possible. And I hope that this helps you in trying to figure out what you want to do in your kitchen plans. This kitchen gets used a lot. I literally cook for like 8 people a day in here, and it's a pleasure because everything is easy to get to. And even when I have, this kitchen is only 11 by 16, and that includes having this big island in the middle with actually has seating on here. I've had 2-3 people in here cooking with me, and you're not having a lack of space. So thinking outside of the box of different ways of using the space and utilizing it where the things that you're using are close to the things that where they're going to be used is key. I'm Mark Holmes, and if you have some questions, be sure to leave them in the comments for us. And if you'd like to know more, definitely leave a comment. And coming up, we'll talk about some of the shower devices that we've used. And boy, I love my shower controls that I got from Amazon. See you soon.